Hi, Lizzie.
Welcome to another episode of today's yoga question. Today's topic is, do we ever graduate from having a yoga teacher? Will we always need to study with someone, or does there come a time in our practice when we can move away?
Traditionally, yoga was taught one-on-one. It was definitely taught with a teacher. That was the only path of yoga. One found a teacher, or a teacher found you, and that has been the way it's been handed down from India. So, in today's world, it's basically that way. I mean, if we look around in our city, in our country, we see that there are classes, there are teachers. Now there are group classes, which is a relatively, actually a quite modern turn of events to have a group classes. But there are a lot of yoga teachers available to you everywhere you look. Um, so there's always been a teacher. Then it evolved its form. There were videos, and you and I do audio courses and video courses. And so I think that definitely in the beginning, one needs a teacher. Now, how long is the beginning? I don't know. The first 100 years, 50 years. There are there are teachers who say don't go to teachers. Just do everything yourself, which is ironic in the extreme and amusing and wonderful to hear teachers telling you, I'm a yoga teacher, but don't come to me. So it is a nuanced question. It is a gray question. I believe my values is that having a live teacher is critical as long as it's critical. Now, what does that mean? Uh, to me, the mark of a true student of yoga, however long we've been, is practicing on their own. So when I say having a teacher, I mean studying specifically with one person mostly, incorporating and understanding the values of that teacher, the vibration of that teacher, the life of that teacher, to study all of that about the teacher, not just which way to turn your foot in triangle pose. But at some point, maybe the teacher becomes internalized and you practice on your own. And maybe it also looks like, but you occasionally take classes with that person, or you occasionally take other classes to open your mind to other ways of seeing. So I think the question is not so much, do we always have a teacher in the flesh? We may not have a teacher in the flesh. My teacher is no longer alive, but he can teach me nonetheless through my memories of him, through his books. And so the question is, what form does our teacher take? And I think that when we have gone first deeply into understanding and studying with one teacher, that then we cultivate the ability to become our own teacher, not exclusively, but to become our own teacher and to find the spirit of our teacher in other people and other events. And you we therefore become more subtle learners after we've deepened being a student with one person. It helps us understand that we can see yoga teaching everywhere in our relationships, moment to moment. And so that maybe at some point we're not attending classes, but we're still being taught.
And what about from the teacher's perspective? How do you let go of a student?
Well, I have two things to tell you about that. One is BK Iyengar has said, Students come, thank God I can teach. Students don't come, thank God I can practice. And another teacher said to me, Usha Budaya, he said, you have a lot of students because you're busy paying back karma to them. So teaching is a form of service. It's a form of devotion that serves the teacher as well as the student. And the most important thing that we can remember about our students that we can manifest with respect is understanding they don't belong to us. They are not there to bolster our ego as a teacher, to be our friends, to, although we're friendly with them, to serve us. We are there to serve them. And in so doing, we become served. So that means that it's not that we don't hold them and ask them to do difficult things like try this pose and let me help you move in the direction of it. It may be frightening or challenging for you, but how can we work together for you to move in that direction? Maybe you'll get 1/10 of it or 100th of it, or maybe I can help you with your meditation posture and that may change your life. Or it's not that we don't ask the difficult, that we don't expect them to show up on time and to leave on time, which is also sometimes just as wonderful when the class is over. But we do so with a deep understanding that they are not for us. They are with us, and we give them what we give them. They take what they need. And when they leave, it is in a way an amazing compliment because they are saying to you, you changed my life. You opened my heart. I got what I needed on my journey. And I bless you for that. And now I'm moving to the next step. And it might be to go to another teacher or to practice on their own for a while or some combination. And I taught for so long now, for 45 years, that I've had students come and go in every kind of rhythm. I actually have a student now who I haven't seen since 1971, who was a student of mine in the first few months that I ever taught, has now returned and is studying with me.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a good word for it. So our job is to welcome, to share, and to send them on their way with our love and blessings. Because when we have been a part of creating an environment in which they find themselves. And when they find themselves and want to live from that, that is an ultimate compliment to us.
It sounds like raising children. You've done a good job if they actually leave.
Well, yes, absolutely. But it's a bittersweet thing as a parent because, just when someone once said, when they just get really interesting, they leave. I thought you three were always quite interesting. But yeah, if you're from the moment you give birth and the child is no longer in your body, its exact location at every moment, they come out and then they are walking away from you literally and metaphorically, and to become their own selves. It is an exact metaphor, and that is a wonderful thing. It's why parents cry at graduations. We're so proud and so sad. And someone said to me, what's it like when now that all three of your children are gone? And I said, well, I always thought, well, when the children leave, thank God the house will be clean and quiet. And now, unfortunately, the house is clean and quiet. It stays that way. So it's true with students that, exactly as you said, it is a blessing when they come. It is a blessing when they find themselves and perhaps no longer need to come, because it means they're settled into their own self. I mean, and they're finding teachers everywhere, as I said before.
That's a nice place to end. Thank you so much, Mama.
May we live like the lotus, at home, in the muddy water. Namaste. Thank you, Lizzie.
And thank you, dear listener. If you liked this conversation, I think you'll probably also like our online courses that you can find at www.lassiter.yoga. Until next time, bye bye.